Yo, what's up, guys? So I really enjoyed last week's video that I made in this like a Loom style presentation where I'm basically talking about the newsletter that I'm writing about. Pardon the appearance is actually a little bit later on my side. It's currently 9 p.m., so fairly in the evening, and I don't really like wearing my eye contacts this late into the day. But that aside, before I start rambling off about random bullshit, for today's newsletter, we're talking about perspective. And regarding perspective, I feel like a lot of dudes my age, in their 20s, I'm currently 27 for some context, there's a lot that really goes behind the scenes in terms of like information. So if you guys are anything like me, you're probably mostly focused on financial success. And when it comes to that aspect, I feel like a lot of us were super stuck in research mode, kind of like Googling like top 10 ways to make money online, fastest way to make 10K per month online. And then with that, we end up searching and finding all these like different methods, different strategies, different vehicles for making money online. And what ends up happening is we get like conflicting ideas of do it this way instead of that way. Why this way is the best way? Why you shouldn't do it that way? And then it ends up like with you having all this information in the back of your mind. You're just like, dude, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing in the first place? And that's pretty much the reason for why most dudes my age are stuck. So, sort of like what I wrote in today's newsletter, the past few months, few years look exactly the same. The only difference now is that you're older, you're more desperate, and you got less energy to work with. And for me, I can tell you this from personal experience, the amount of energy that I had when I was 24 years old compared to right now at 27, I definitely felt way better at 24 in terms of energy. Like I was able to have all nighters. I would have been completely fine. I just needed like a 1 hour nap in the middle of the day and boom, right back to normal. Right now, I can't do that shit. If I have an all nighter for just one night, I'm cooked for the rest of the day. But in any case, to roughly explain what's going on here, I want to talk about something that I call the law of reality. And it'll make sense in a second for why this is important. Our real life, the life that we live right now, it comes as a result from our actions. And the actions that we take are decided by our surface level thoughts and our surface level emotions. And these thoughts and our emotions, they come from our past experiences and beliefs around life. And all of our beliefs and experiences, they make up our identity. So, in order for you to change the life that you're currently living right now, you got to change who you are fundamentally at the core, which is otherwise known as your identity. And let me open this up with the quote by Albert Einstein that I feel like many of us have heard before. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So, that being said, the way that you think, the things you believe, and the person you are today is what got you the life that you're living. I want you to think about it this way, right? The size of your bank account and the amount of money that you make, the body that you have, the energy levels that you have, the romantic partner that you're with, the friends that you have, the place that you live, the car that you drive. All of these things come as a result of the things that we believe in. And to give you an even better example of that, imagine that one day you had a bad experience in. I actually got a better example for you guys. Give you guys a personal example, personal story. When I was 17 years old, my aunt had a wedding, and we actually went to Hawaii for that wedding. And I remember this one day I went out swimming by the beach, and we went. I was snorkeling, so I got like the glasses and everything, and then you get like the breathing tube and shit like that. So I was just swimming near the shore, and then I felt confident doing that because I was at least able to see the seafloor below me, like the sand. And all of a sudden, this powerful wave picks me up and it drags me out so fucking far into away from the shore to the point where the moment I looked down, the floor disappeared. All I saw when I looked down was pure pitch darkness. That shit scared the fuck out of me. And I remember at that time, I was trying to swim my way back towards the shore, but the current was so strong, it wouldn't allow me to go back. And I started panicking because I was like, dude, the people on the beach, I don't know if they could see me, but I was freaking out. And by some sheer chance of luck, I was just like swimming as hard as I could towards the shore. And then luckily, the current actually dragged me and pushed me and threw me out onto the sand of the shore. And ever since that day, I've told myself, fuck the ocean. Like, fuck Mother Nature, bro. Anything that has to do with the water or the ocean or boats or yachts or anything like that, I'm staying away from that shit. Okay? So, because I had that bad experience, if you were to tell me, Alan, let's go jet skiing or let's go on a boat or let's go on a cruise ship, fuck you. I'm not going there. I absolutely refuse to do that. So, that is just one example of a belief that I have that will now forever affect the reality of my life. Are you ever going to see me living near the ocean or anything like that, or living in the middle of the ocean? Absolutely the fuck not. But that's my life. In any case, this is just one belief that I have. And if we really want to get deeper into it, all of us, me, you, our friends, family members, we all have these like different beliefs about different areas of life. Not even me having a bad experience at the ocean, but also an experience or a belief with, let's say, with wealth, with fitness, with mindset, with relationships. Like, dude, everybody has different beliefs about certain things. And it's because of these beliefs or perspective, rather, that they've been stuck for the past few years. Because the way that we see the world, aka our perspective, it hasn't changed. So, because our perspective stays the same, effectively speaking, it doesn't matter what new actions you try to take, nothing's going to stick and nothing really drastically changes. So, for today's video, I want to talk a little bit more about how you can permanently fix this problem of being stuck with the concept I call the power of perspective. So, by the end of today, you're going to learn how to use this concept to get you closer to your goals. And fundamentally speaking, this is like universally applicable, not just for your financial success, but just about anything else in life, fitness, relationships, you name it. So, for today, we're going to cover how this one perspective shift allowed me to make 10K in 90 days, why more research is actually keeping you stuck, why your perspective is your biggest bottleneck, and how to actually bypass years of trial and error with my method. But first, I do need to tell you that, bro, I understand what it is that you're looking for because I was in your position. I wanted freedom in the form of time and location. I wanted success in the form of financial success. And I wanted purpose in the work that I was actually doing. And I wanted happiness, not just in my friendships, but also in my romantic relationships. And I also wanted to take pride in how I physically look like. Like, bro, I want to be able to look in a mirror and be super happy with myself that, like, God damn, Alan, you look fucking good today, right? Because you look jacked as fuck. I want to be able to do that. And I understand that very well. And not even just like the whole like materialism and things like that, right? Because is the first is not really just about the penthouse, the car, and the fancy watch. Is like that's really nice and everything, but we also want the experiences that come with it, the perfect relationship, like the travel, taking care of the people that we love and care about. Like you want this too, and for me, I tried this shit from 21 to 24 years old. Nothing fucking changed until I understood the concept of the power of perspective. And before we get deeper into that, allow me to share this brutal truth that you need to hear. You already have all the information you need to make your dreams a reality. You just need the right perspective to make this shit happen. Now, that being said, let's get deep into this shit. So, the moment I realized perspective was the answer. So, like anyone else starting out, when I was younger, when I was 21, the only thing I really wanted was just to make 3K a month from home, remotely, just to pay off rent, living expenses. Because to be honest, like my Asian side, like bro, I'm hella fucking frugal. Like even till this day, I'm still saving as much money as I fucking can. If I could, like I'm not gonna fucking spend any money on public transportation. Like I'd rather walk that shit. But that aside, it's like, dude, As a nine to fiver, like when I first started, like back then when I was like 21 to 24 years old, like my whole mindset behind like making money online was that you needed to start a business of some sort. And for me, what that looked like was we got to hire a marketing team. We have to spend thousands of dollars to build a product or a service. And then after that, we need to um, hire a sales team. And then I need to hire like an operator, like a COO. Like I have to hire like a whole bunch of people in order for me to make any sort of money online. Because to me, as a nine to fiver, I worked corporate and I saw that there was a CEO, I saw a COO, then I saw like different departments and everything. And then this is how, people were making money. And that was my idea of like making money online back then. But the thing is, I was like looking around me through social media and through YouTube. How the fuck were there other solopreneurs working by themselves, maybe like 4 to 6 hour work days, making 10K a month, and they're still traveling the world? I'm like, I'm human, he's human, right? We both eat, we both shit, we both sleep. But how come these guys were able to do what I wanted to do, but I couldn't achieve it? So I tried doing what they did in terms of the vehicle, but that was very surface level, right? I was like, let me try options trading, crypto trading, freelance copywriting, and consulting. But for me, I couldn't make money from any of them. I actually ended up losing 10K from that shit. And it got annoying and frustrating to the point where I was just like, dude, you and I both have access to the same information online, but then you guys are still able to make it work, but I can't. Here comes my mentor. I'm 24, 25 years old, and my mentor, his name is Elias, he actually shifted my perspective on how I viewed making money online as a whole. So he used to work as a sales rep for Salesforce, and that's how he made his first 10K per month as a sales rep. From there, he started his own sales agency where he used to train other people and training them to become sales reps, and then he would put them in other businesses that were looking for sales reps, and then he would collect um, like part of a percentage of the profits that these businesses would make. So from that business model, he became a sales rep making 10K a month to becoming an agency owner making 50K a month working by himself. So when I was speaking with him and actually saw the results that he was getting, I realized that my main problem wasn't that I was choosing the wrong business model per se. It was more so that I was viewing how to make money the wrong way. Because from the lens of a nine to fiver, I saw making money online as some like extremely crazy, complex, difficult thing to achieve. But from the lens of a successful solopreneur like my mentor, for him, it was quite simple. Because the way that he made his 10K per month online, in order for him to achieve location freedom and financial freedom without starting a business or hiring an entire team, for him, this is what he taught me. He's like, dude, learn how to sell, find a business that sells expensive shit, become a sales rep for them, boom, sell as much of that shit as fucking possible, and that's how you make your 10K per month online. No need to hire a team. You ain't gotta build a product. You don't have to fulfill a service. You don't have to run advertisements. So the thing here, it's not about becoming a sales rep. It's more so about changing your perspective on the information that you currently have. Because him telling me to become a sales rep, that's not world changing. Like that's not new. Sales reps have always existed for the longest time ever. Like this is not like new information. It's just that the way that I was viewing my goals was that as a nine to fiver, which is why I couldn't see past that certain limitation of, oh, dude, if you just want to make more money online, just become a commission based sales rep, right? But this video itself is not about becoming a sales rep. It's about changing your perspective with the information you already have. Because once you do that, it'll ultimately change the direction of your life. Now, perspective aside for a second, let's now talk about why doing more research is secretly keeping you stuck. So, like I said before, most of us already have the knowledge that we need in order to reach a certain goal. We don't have an information problem. And the reason why I say that is because everybody has access to the internet. Everybody has access to ChatGPT. You have access to Google. We have access to YouTube. Literally, all the information is out there available for free. And this is also why I don't believe in fucking buying courses. Or sometimes I do. I bought plenty of courses in the past for myself alone because I've always seen it as like I'm about to fucking ramble on here, but I like to buy courses back then, especially from people like Dan Ko with his 2 hour what was it, his 2 hour writer course for business. I don't remember what it was called, but I liked it because it was like all the information that I really needed and I was really looking for was just all in one place. So I didn't really have to like go through fucking one part of YouTube, then go through one part of like ChatGPT, then another part of fucking Google just to get all the information I need. It saves time and it saves me more money in the long run. But what I'm trying to say is that all the info you need, you already have access to it. And the thing is, for a lot of us, we don't need more information. And a lot of the thought process behind that is like, okay, well, based off of the information that I have, for some reason, I'm unable to take action on it. And because I can't take action on it, then the main problem must be that I don't have enough information. So, in order for me to solve that info problem, then that means I need to keep learning, keep researching, and keep planning. But what ends up happening is you tell yourself the thoughts of, oh, I'll start this business model once I start learning about, I don't know, X, Y, and Z, or maybe there's a fucking better business model out there than the one that I've started. Or once I plan everything out and I write it on the drawing board, then I'll feel ready. And the problem is that it's not an info problem, it's more so of an execution problem. And for a lot of us, we have what's called information obesity. And what that means is basically like you have so much information on a certain topic to the point that you don't know where to start. And because you don't know where to start, you procrastinate and you hesitate. Hesitation becomes a sign of missing info, and then you trap yourself in this cycle of like research. So fuck that. No need to do research, no need to trap yourself in this endless loop. And the best way to bypass this is simply to just start. It's like all the information that you have right now, right, on a certain topic, whatever goal it is that you have. And I'm always going to use make money online as like the easiest thing because that's a hot topic. It's what I was interested in when I was in my early 20s. It's what a lot of people are also interested in. So let's take the topic of making money online, right? There's so many different fucking business models out there. They all work. You just got to pick one and just stick to it. Even if you don't know how to start, it's better for you to just start with the information that you have available to you right now. And it's so simple as getting a piece of paper and getting a pen and just writing that shit down. And that's it. Because the thing is, in terms of getting clarity or in terms of getting information, the best thing that you get to do is starting reaching reaching a certain threshold of like, okay, I made a mistake, I failed. What do I do next time so that I don't make the same mistake again? And the more mistakes you make, the more failures you achieve. That's the fastest way for you to get to your first version of success, or that's how you get your first win, the fastest way possible. I mean, at least that's what worked for me, and that's why I feel like it would work for everyone else. But I'm biased as fuck, and I'm just saying that that's always gonna work. It's only when you feel like you've tried everything in your power with all the information that you have, then I would say, all right, maybe do a little bit more research, intentional consumption. Now, that aside, let's move on to the next thing, why your perspective is actually your biggest bottleneck. So, for me, I define perspective as the way that you see a piece of information. For our context, it's more of a filter or a lens that you see the world in. When it comes to the content that I write about, to the content that I actually make, I do attract a multitude of people, and it's pretty cool because I've played all of these different types of people: 9 to 5 office workers, solopreneurs, content creators, remote sales reps, and college students. So everybody that reads my content or watches it, they hopefully walk away with a new perspective when it comes to making money online or just increasing their self confidence. And the beautiful thing about this is that we all have different perspectives on the topics that I write about. But it's this perspective that limits you to a certain extent. So I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, right, I wrote a newsletter, but I did not make a video on this, on how I made my first $1,000 online. So in the mind of a 9 to 5er, for his perspective, he might believe, like, dude, how the fuck am I gonna make money online if I'm working full time 40 hours a week? Right? He's gonna think, I don't have time for this. But now I want you to imagine, what if the 9 to 5er was to adopt the mindset, or to start seeing, thinking, believing, and adopting the perspective of the solopreneur, of the content creator, or even the sales rep. He would find a way to start making content to promote a service or a product, or he would find a service or a product to start offering to people, or he would find someone else's product or service to sell, and that's how he would monetize. And the thing is, if you continue to see the world from your current perspective, right, you're limiting yourself to the infinite possibilities of change. If you think like a nine to fiver, you'll get the life of a nine to fiver. If you think like a content creator, you get the life of a content creator. And now the most powerful thing you do is to think in the perspective of someone that has a life that you want to live. And as a byproduct of doing that, you will get their life. So hopefully you understand what it is that I'm trying to say now. And with that being said, my favorite philosophy that I still use to this day that I want to give to you: what would the future successful version of you do right here, right now, in this instance, in your current situation, to get to where they want to be? How would they put themselves in the best possible position of success? Now let's move on to the next thing: how to bypass years of trial and error with my method. So I talked about this in my last video, but this method is called identity shifting. And for the people that talk about this, they're either out of shape, they're broke as shit, they talk about manifestation, woo woo bullshit, or they're just plain fucking delusional. Okay? So, that being said, identity shifting is the process of intentionally changing your internal programming to a different version that best serves your purpose and your goals. So, quite frankly, it's just a permanent change in perspective. So, like I said before, I've lived the life of a nine to fiver, a full time student, a content creator, a solopreneur, and a sales rep. And at 24 years old, I was a nine to fiver and I was a part time solopreneur. However, I wanted the life of world travel, making 10K a month, getting in the best shape of my life, finding the partner of my dreams, having a high level social circle. And after meeting my mentor, I gained the perspective of a sales rep, a content creator, and a full time solopreneur. And then at 25, 90 days later, after having worked with him, that's when I literally achieved the life that I wanted. So the right question to ask isn't, what do I need to do in order to get to the life that I want to live? The right question to ask is, who do I need to become in order to get to the life that I want to live? And the answer to that is the identity shifting method. So there's three parts to this. Step one, vision creation. Start off by creating a vision of what your definition of success means to you 5 years from today. So, an example: at the time I'm making this video, it's August 4th, 2025. So, 5 years from today, it'll be August 4th, 2030. How do you want your life to actually look like? And the reason why I chose 5 years is because 5 years is a timeline. It's a time frame where it's so far away to the point where the amount of possibilities is like insane, or like anything can happen in the next 5 years. But it's also short enough to where it's like, okay, well, I don't really have that much time to make my dreams a reality, but it does seem possible to actually get there. So it gives you the room, the ability, the creativity to actually think huge for the life that you want for yourself. And in this point right now, I want you to be super honest with yourself, be super selfish, forget about what people are telling you, what the right things to do are, what the right things to want are. I want you to ask yourself, what does success mean to you? Not what social media says what success means, not what your parents fucking want for you, not what your friends want for you. How about you yourself? So in this part, be super descriptive, be colorful, be vivid, and you can use the following questions to guide you. Where do you want to live in 5 years? How much money you want to make? How much you want to have? Who's in your social circle or your friend group? Who are you dating? Who are you married to? What physical body do you have? What's your fitness look like? What clothes do you wear? It's like, be super descriptive with the vision that you want to create, with the life that you want to have. You should be able to fucking close your eyes and see that shit so fucking clearly that you're gonna be like, damn, that's a nice ass fucking life that I want to live. And at first it's gonna feel weird, corny, and it's gonna feel cliche as fuck. But the only reason why it feels this way is because you've never done it yourself. Like you've literally probably never had a chance to dream big. And now that I'm giving you permission to do so, it feels weird. But the thing is, it feels weird because you never thought that your dreams were even possible. So, here's permission. Go wild with this shit. Be honest with the things you want. And now, step two, future identity creation. Who the fuck do you need to become in order to make that vision a reality? Because there is someone out there already. There's an influencer, entrepreneur, business owner, athlete, or just someone that already has that life that you want to live. You got to figure out who that person is. Because out of them, you can draw inspiration. Because if that person was in your life right now, I guarantee you, you give them a certain amount of time, they will get back to where they were at before. So imagine if you fucking had all the knowledge of a successful 7 figure, 8 figure entrepreneur and he was in your position right now. He would get back to becoming that 7, 8 figure entrepreneur in no time. So some questions to get you started is, what do these guys believe differently about wealth, health, and relationships than you do? What habits do they do on a daily basis? What weaknesses did they get rid of? What do they read, study, or learn about? What people do they surround themselves with? How do they handle the bad days? And the thing is, the more factors you can identify, the easier it becomes for you to actually shift your identity. Now, once you actually answer all these questions, write this shit all down. And it'll make sense in a second because for the next part, it's called reflection, reiteration, and execution. How can you make sure that you actually do the right things to become this person to reach the life that you want to live? Reflection comes in the form of, well, at least for me, I used to call it like church Sundays, but instead of like going to church, I would actually spend my time reflecting on what I did in the previous week. It's like, what did I do good this week? What could I have done better? What's a mistake that I made? What should next week's focus be? And then reiterations is more so of like, okay, what did I do good last week that I could keep doing or make even better so that I could get better results than I did last time? And the last part is execution. How can I keep staying consistent with the actions that actually drive me closer to my goals? And the thing is, it's going to be difficult to do this on your own because we're all biased to ourselves. We're always going to tell ourselves, yeah, we actually did pretty good today. Like, we worked pretty hard. I'd give myself a 10 out of 10 gold star, right? Fucking bullshit. Like, if you were to ask someone else that was further ahead than you what they think of your performance, they're probably going to be like, dude, you're a piece of shit. You did not do enough today. And that's completely fine. But whatever the case is, as humans, we're always going to get in our own way. Our perspectives are always going to limit us to a certain extent, you know? But at the end of the day, like, dude, if you were to actually able to implement this method called identity shifting, the law of reality doesn't fucking lie. If you change who you are as a person, right? Which means you change your beliefs, you change your thoughts, which ultimately change your actions, you will ultimately change your life as a whole. That's how you change reality. And now I've basically covered everything that I want to talk about for today's video. And I honestly really hope that this video has given you a new perspective on what are some things that you can start doing to really, start pointing the needle in the right direction for your life. And if you like shit like this, then stick around because this is all I talk about. Make more money, look better, get more fit, improve your confidence. And yeah, I got nothing else before I start rambling on again. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.